Word on the street, I'm a suspect. Hanging with the killers in the projects. Taylor want a barrel, keep quiet. Catch a nigga slipping from behind. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. Put a nigga out like an outbreak. Chopper start to make the house shake. Nigga sweeter than a pound case. Eyes on your chin, better watch what your mouth say. Lean with the footballs, got a nigga tripping. Fuck it, nigga keep sipping. AK with the beam on it. Clip sold on like a lean on it. My niggas like behind ball. Move 100 pounds for a nigga beat the charge. Jack down when the play watch a fuck. If a nigga try to rob, fucking hit him with no. Word on the street, I'm a suspect. Hanging with the killers in the projects. They don't want a barrel, keep quiet. Catch a nigga slipping from behind. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. 100 bands on your head, get the job done. Throw it up, nigga, where you from? Whole hood hot, cause your nigga hitting licks. Ain't made a meal yet, but he still nigga rich. Stick on my, stick on my, stick on. How you want it, nigga? Full of the semi. Looking for the cash, searching for the bag. Young nigga wildin', throwing up flag. Shooters on the roof with a scope. Money make gon' treat you like the Pope. Keep me in the post.
I think I'm never going to take that off. You guys, like, oh my God, it's so loud. But I think it just reminds you to get your ass in here. Hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this after party live, like first edition. I'm scared and I'm excited all at the same time. Hopefully, you guys have watched the premiere of Apocalypto, and moving further, we will do premieres and have a guest on so you can meet a new content creator, and we will also discuss the movie. Like, this is so awesome. I'm really excited to hear what you guys have to say and how you respond to this. Of course, if it's positive, we will continue to do this. But before I bring my guest out, let me see who is in here. Please let me know, of course, if you can hear me okay before I start talking and y'all go, I can't hear anything. But let's see who is in here. I'm so glad for anybody who came to support. Let's go, Jaguar Paw. One of my faves. Can't wait. Of course, it's one of my faves now at this point. This movie creeped me out, but it's dope. Oh, I would love to know what was creepy about it. Let's see. Cannot wait to talk about this film in my top 5 action films of the past 25 years. Vamos. Thank you, Latino Slant. Let's see, ready to rock again. Yes, you were there for the premiere about, 30 minutes, an hour ago, and you were back. Thank you so much for coming. Equalizer. You know I appreciate you and all of the support you give me every single time. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. Of course, if you are just getting in here, please hit that like button and support the live stream. Let's see. So excited for this one. Welcome, Val. Thank you for being here. Once again, showing some love. Thank you. Thank you. So awesome. Let's see. Wait, is this live? Yes, it is, Paris. Yes, it is. It is completely live. Thank you. Hit that like button. It is very live. Let's see. The review was awesome. Oh, thank you. I do what I can. Thank you so much. Mike has bad knees. I love that name. Let's see. Before we get into any more of these comments, I have a special person to introduce to you guys. One of my favorite people. He has one of the best mustaches I have ever seen in my life. Welcome to the chat, Holly with Latino Slant. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, I'm so happy that the mustache grew back in time for this.
I know. I was like, can I say that? And I was like, oh no, it's back. We're in the clear to represent for the mustache. It's immaculate.
El bigote. It's an honor. It's an honor. Hello to all the Struggle Reviews TV patrons and subscribers. She is one of my favorite gals, period, on this crazy YouTube place. And this is my first time with you here on your channel, but it's like you've been on the Slant a few times, so it's like home. It's like I'm coming home.
I'm so happy now that I get to return the favor. You know, it's been a struggle. Everything is a struggle. You guys think the names are just for decoration. The name is very strategic. So this is like a really big thing for me, and I'm really honored to have you on. Paulie is awesome at what he does on his channel. And getting into that, I would love to ask you a few questions so my people can get to know you before we jump into what's so awesome about Apocalypto.
Oh man.
Very simple stuff.
Okay.
Very simple stuff. So I would love to know right off the bat, what is the worst movie you've seen this year?
Hold on, I need to catch my breath. What is the worst film I've seen this year?
The worst movie you've seen thus far this year. You know, we still summer, but hey.
You know, I don't go into movies, you know, with having just drunk a whole bunch of Gatorade. I'm not like that. I'm a nice guy. I'm optimistic. You know, I like to have a good time. But what I can tell you is I've never seen so many awful movies in 1 year so far. Yeah, I mean, what's up, Cameron? Great Cameron Pasha, some awesome people in the chat. Let me just say this too, though. Anyone watching this live or on the replay, please smash the like button. It helps. It helps struggles, because I know she's new to doing this live. This is fantastic, because I cannot tell you how amazing your reviews are. I mean, you do it all. You know, you do the humor, intelligence, your great takes. So, you know, but okay. God, guys,
definitely
worst movie this year?
Because I know what mine is.
Well, I guess it would have been Ant-Man. But I just saw Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and there's not a love affinity that I have for Scott Lang and Ant-Man.
Yeah.
That I do for Indiana Jones and Harrison Ford. Indiana Jones is Indy, man. He's one of everyone's all-time favorite heroes.
Yes.
And
I haven't seen it yet. Is it like really bad?
Oh, I mean, it's Uncle Polly's in the house. And Theo. I'm the Theo. I mean, I don't want to give spoilers out here, right? But you know, it's not Indiana Jones. It's, you know, I
didn't you know how I felt about it. It wasn't anything I was anticipating. I just wanted them to make sure they sent Harrison Ford off the proper way. And if it's crap. I'll be waiting for that one to come out on stream.
Yeah, if that's the case, maybe The Last Crusade, or no, what was it? The Crystal Skull. The Crystal Skull was kind of a silly story, you know, like it was far-fetched. But I did like him reuniting with Karen Allen, and you know, I liked certain aspects of it.
Yeah.
This actually, as far as an adventure, has a better story potential and idea. It's just that the whole 2 hours after the first half hour is commandeered by Phoebe Waller-Bridge and her character of Helena, and she is the most unlikable character that I was bored out of my mind. And I'm like, what the F am I watching? So I was really upset. You know, you know, because it also is a good looking film. James Mangold, Ford versus Ferrari, 310 to Yuma. I mean, he's got some great films.
It wasn't enough to save it.
I think, you know, and Cameron said it right there, Harrison Ford was sent off properly in Last Crusade with Sean Connery. That was it. And if you want to do more Indiana Jones movies, recast a young actor, keep Indiana ageless. He's our hero, you know, in that particular time before kind of like, you know, the James Bond 50s era. Keep it, you know, before then. So that's my what is your worst movie of the year so far?
Oh, mine is definitely House Party, the remake. I was upset. I was heavily upset, you know, with the kind of movie reviews I do. Like something like House Party, I hold near and dear to my heart and to the channel. So watching House Party, the recent remake, pissed me off.
Wow.
I was personally offended. But getting back into you, Polly,
Wow.
I would love to know when and why you started your channel and why you
Yeah.
named it The Latino Slant.
Well, you know, you struck a chord to me with House Party real quick. We got because everyone wanted that flat top in the 90s. I refuse to watch it, just like I refuse to watch
Yeah.
White Men Can't Jump, the remake.
Yeah.
Did you watch that one as well?
I did because it was kind of low key executed, directed by the same person, and I just wanted to see if he elevated at all.
And
Direction a little bit, but the movie, it's not doing anything groundbreaking. I
yeah,
think certain things should just be left alone.
that's the theme with Hollywood, is they're messing with our beloved films from back in the day.
Mhm.
I would say now anything before. No, I'm good. I don't. What was, oh,
I don't
film's only
want to
as good
see
as
the
its script.
cooning.
Oh my god, I
The
don't need to see the
cooning.
cooning.
I don't want to see any of that.
No, we don't want that. But yeah, Hollywood is they just refuse to kind
Come
of
up with
green light
anything.
original fresh ideas.
That's why it's so important for us to talk about this movie today.
Yes.
Hopefully, we'll inspire somebody to make
But
something new.
yeah, but the Latino slant, well, you
Mhm.
know, when COVID hit and it shut down LA pretty hard. I'm
Hmm.
here in LA. I lost all my business. I
Hmm.
was all my business was one-on-one as far as
Yeah, in
training
person.
people in martial arts. I had gained a nice clientele all over the city for many years. I'm a black belt, so I worked.
Polly kicks ass, if you didn't know that.
Well, it took me 10 years just to get the black belt, and then it's like
Mm.
you build up your clientele. you know Everyone had these horror stories of losing their business, losing family members. I don't know what. I don't want to get too deep, but I
Yeah.
was just sitting there on the couch and I'm like, well, let me do this. I used to work in bilingual, in the bilingual world a lot back in the day.
Mhm.
I have no problem talking, as you can tell. So, and I got some old contacts. I know some people,
Mm.
and I just started fiddling around, with I was working just like you. I was working off the iPhone.
Yeah.
Then I graduated to iPad, and now I have a nice computer. But the Latino slant is really, you could say it's a poly slant.
Yeah.
But I wanted to be culture specific because I wanted to enlighten and entertain people on the beautiful shared culture of Latinos from all over, Latin America to, in the US.
Yeah.
So I have great content to talk about.
Yeah.
Then I want to be able to say, hey, we have so many eclectic tastes that we talked about this. The US Latino is the
Mhm.
biggest moviegoer in the States.
Yeah.
As a group, they can make or break a movie now, and our tastes are varied and very eclectic, from John Wick to The Blackening. I want to talk about that.
I have to still go see
So
that one.
I always like this exchange of having different people to come on my channel. So
Yeah.
we've had great people like you on the channel, like Cameron Pasha,
Mhm.
to Edward James Olmos, to Danny Trejo, and we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep bringing you guys wonderful, wonderful people to have discussions and talk about what's going on in
Mhm.
entertainment. So that's the slant.
Like, Polly, I love your channel so much. I love when I can find someone who has a niche and I can say, like, I don't see this anywhere else on YouTube. And so far, I have yet to see any more Latino slant. So I love it. Y'all go check Polly. I'm gonna post your link in the channel in the chat right now. Like, I don't know why we're wasting any time. Go and check him out.
Hey, thank
But
you.
even on top of that, what was the first video that you posted and why that particular video?
Oh God.
So many.
Yeah. I do a lot of videos.
Mhm.
So the first video I ever did,
Yeah.
God, give me a second. I'll go look.
You're supposed to know that off the bat, Polly. Mine's is
Well,
always here
I
because it inspired me to. You didn't need any inspiration. You were so ready to hop online and be seen and talk. I needed to be inspired, so my first video is always on the tip of my tongue.
what's your first video? Because it'll give me a second. What was your first video?
I did videos on the series I May Destroy You that premiered on HBO. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
How was that?
It was the show was great. I was terrible.
Right.
I was terrible, getting those first video jitters out. It's a completely different struggles. I would never go delete those videos because we've grown. But yeah, it's nothing anybody wants to go see.
I mean, my first live stream, I had one person in there in the live stream, and that was Mexican Iron Man.
Long-time supporter.
Longtime supporter, and I maybe it was talking about something that had to do. Hey, Nicole, had to do with zoot suits, because I think at that time that I started, it was the anniversary of the zoot suit riots, and I even did a connection to Chicano and African American communities and how they created the fashion. Because actually, the fashion of the zoot suit is from Philadelphia, from African Americans, but the Chicano just took it in the Southwest and made it its own, unique, put its own unique staple on fashion, and so yeah, I definitely think it had to do something with zoot suit and a TV show called Penny Dreadful City of Angels.
Oh, I remember Penny Dreadful.
Yeah. So the
Okay.
first season was good, but not this City of Angels was horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Per usual. And
Yeah.
also, I would really love to know the ultimate goal for your channel to make you go like, oh, mama, I made it. I finally arrived as, the Latino slant. What goal is that? Is it, a certain amount of subscribers, sponsorships, collaborating with a certain person? What's the ultimate Latino slant moment?
I think the ultimate is going to be when we branch out and start producing kind of, work. Maybe if it's a short film or films, we get some backing, because we have big plans with Latino slant productions on that level. I do have a book, a sci-fi book that's coming out this summer. We're going to debut it here. We're going to have a party. I'm actually going to have some actors reciting it live for you guys. Some people you might recognize, and just do more exciting content like that, and as well as what we keep doing. I mean, as far as once you've interviewed Danny Trejo, it's like, or Eddie Olmos, like, all right, I've been
Nowhere else to
the it's just, I think as far as the day-to-day of the channel, as long as I keep having fun, that's it.
Oh my gosh. My first struggles video was when I saw her review for Ride. Then I saw her on Joe and Rocco's stream. Oh boy, that's an old video.
Well, I saw you on whose stream did I see you on?
I was just about to ask you that. How did you find me in particularly? Let me go check her out. How did you find me?
I found you. Was it on Just My Opinion?
I think so. I think it was for the Black Panther movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it was you, Courtney. Is that her name?
Courtney Michelle, I believe.
If
Courtney Michelle was there, then I must have been on her channel, because I don't think that they cross paths at all.
So you know what? It was during that time, and I was like, because I invited you, and then I invited Justin. Is that his name? What's Just My Opinions? What's his name?
Brandon.
I'm sorry, Brandon. Justin, to come on and let's talk about Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever. And you replied right away.
Of course. I'm always down to collaborate and meet awesome people. Last question. I want to know last question, getting into the film. I would love to know why, because I think I posted it for 2 seconds that Apocalypto was paid for, and you like, oh, Tyra, I got to be a part of that. I need to get in on talking about Apocalypto. Why were you so passionate about it?
Well, it's funny because when we destroyed and we tore apart Wakanda Forever, I said to my audience, we've had a Mayan action movie for years. It's called Apocalypto. Give me Jaguar Paw any day over that abomination called Namor. Any day, because Jaguar Paw, that is a real hero. I mean, yeah. So that's what. So I've always been a fan of this movie, and I don't and of Mel Gibson as a director. I don't know why more people haven't seen this movie, especially if you like action adventure films, and are tired of really, what Hollywood has done with the genre.
Yeah.
I think this movie is getting better and better every year. So I can't believe you just saw it. That was like
I'm
your first time.
saying, Polly, I was out the loop. I was so out of the loop. You being so excited about it, it made me kind of like moved up on my ladder to watch with urgency, because I was like, oh, this looks really intriguing. And I think I've seen like maybe a thumbnail or two or just something for the movie, but I never clicked it. It was never any, because most things that are this awesome, you've heard about it. People can't stop talking about it. It's always on a countdown list, top 10 most wonderful somethings. It's never there. So I just didn't know. But after I watched it, I was completely like amazed. It's so freaking good.
Well, listen, I know Mel Gibson has had his troubles, and I think that really hurt his directing work.
Yeah.
In fact, I think it was that same year, like before it came out, several months before the movie came out. So did Mel's drunken,
Jewish,
anti-Semitic, and this is a Jewish run industry, as far as that lore and that legend, there's certain things that will get you canceled right away. And that was back in 2006.
Yeah.
That being said, I love Mel Gibson's films.
Man, I didn't read. I never look at anything before I watched the film. I don't know if I just didn't know. So once I took a deep breath after the movie was over, and I thought it was so amazing, and I immediately saw directed by Mel Gibson. I was like, Mel Gibson?
Yeah.
I said Mel Gibson to myself in disbelief so many times, because I've seen Braveheart. The Passion of the Christ is it's a moment. It's a lot, but
it's a great shot.
Yeah, the caliber of this movie, it was just so amazing. And to know that he co-produced it, he wrote it, he backed this film entirely by himself.
Yep.
And I was like, that's why it's so good, because nobody else was involved, and he had full autonomy over this project to do what he wanted. I was like, we need some more of this so badly, with urgency. This movie was amazing, and I was clamoring to see is there anything in production of a part 2 or just anything.
Well, we all know what part 2. We all know what.
I want to see it, Polly.
You know what? Let's do a prequel, because. So but it was believed it was made for $40 million, and it made over 120 million. So it it made a couple bucks. It won a lot of awards in regards to kind of the critical, film critics.
Critically acclaimed. No Oscar. You're like, no Oscar.
Well, it got nominated for 3 Oscars. I think. See, that's where the politics came in, because the Oscars is very political, and that's what killed it for Mel. But I don't think he really cared. I don't think he really cares.
No.
There was, how they have, how there's the BET awards, and then there's the whatever Black Film Festival has their awards, whatever those are. Those have existed too in the Latin sphere. So there's award shows called the Imagen Awards, and the Imagen Awards awarded the Dalia, the wife, best supporting actress, and so it won awards. It just won them not in it's.
I just hated to look this up and to see that it was only nominated for like I think it was like best costuming or maybe sound design or something like that. But
Yeah.
it wasn't anything that spoke to the direction or the writing on this film. And I took it.
Cinematography.
Yeah, oh my god. Like
I
this is
mean,
it was so amazing.
no, they, yeah,
I was like it was breathtaking to see
yep.
things and see. I was like we were spoiled and we didn't even know like this is a real set design. There was rarely any CGI in sight.
Yeah, and I think that's lost on us today is that this movie was done with so little CGI
Yeah.
that even the Jaguar was real.
Yeah.
And
I looked that up.
our lead actor here ran with it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's things that I didn't even know that I looked up too, is that he really did that waterfall.
Yes.
I was like, what?
Yes, like it was just so much time and consideration and different things. Like
Yeah.
it's such a heightened film with a lower budget that is just
Mhm.
so amazing. And I was just like begging for somebody to take the reins on their film, or like why aren't more people, especially somebody in Mel Gibson's positions, like I have the money to do it and this is a passion project. I'm willing to spend my money to do this
Yeah.
because once the studio gets involved, they have more of a say so of what you get to do and how your film released, and they're touching and
Mhm.
tweaking. It was like, no, I think by the time we got here, because I know The Passion of the Christ was just him solo dolo. They helped a little bit here with distribution, but this was still just simply his film. I really want some more of Mel Gibson.
Well, it's really interesting because the Latino community didn't totally embrace it
Mm,
here in the States, which was a little unfortunate. I think because of there was historical inaccuracy and then the Mel Gibson thing, but also too, it just wasn't known yet. Like it kind of like it kind of came and went. But the reaction, but Latin America and Mexico,
mhm.
they the audience really loved it. Really loved it.
I
You
would.
know,
I just need like a reasonable explanation as to why, because I did go over their lovely article that you sent me, and it's like 16 years later, still underrated. There is no reason why this movie should not be known everywhere by everyone walking.
mhm.
Like, why is it still so underrated? Why is it kind of being pushed into the back and not mentioned with some of the great movies?
Well, I think right now we're coming out of that, this really, awful era in cinema where the agenda of the male hero
Mhm.
can't can't be promoted anymore, and we're gonna just do boss babes, but in the in the worst way. In the worst way. And I'll just, I was listening to Chris Gore talk about this. And what makes a hero interesting is, like your name, we got to be part of their struggle.
Yes.
We have to see their loss. And the problem is, a lot of these female action movies, they nothing happens to them. They can
Yeah.
do no wrong,
Mhm.
and they're often putting down men around them. Who
Yeah.
wants to see that?
Are taking them down easily when they are clearly outweighed, outnumbered, and out everything.
Right, and that's another thing too. That's another. See,
Mhm.
I could actually live with that, like an Alita battle angel,
Mhm.
because I fell in love with her story and with her struggle. And yes, she wasn't human, but
Mhm.
she still was a little thing. But that was a great example. I think the last time they released a great female lead action movie was Alita Battle Angel.
Mm.
It's just politics, and then you add to the fact that it's Mel Gibson. You add to the fact that there was some historical accuracies
Yeah.
that trumped people promoting this incredible film. However, all our favorite directors,
Mhm.
all
Oh.
of our favorite directors, you know what I'm gonna say,
Mhm.
from Spike Lee to
Mhm.
S.S. Rajamouli, point to this movie.
Yeah.
Point to this movie as one of the greatest action movies ever made.
Mhm.
Edward James Olmos, Quentin Tarantino,
Yeah.
Scorsese, they this movie, the way it shook them, it's no joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I was like really speechless watching this movie. It had been a long time since I was just so intrigued and invested in a main character. And just getting into the actors here, I was also really surprised that a lot of them, like Rudy Youngblood, he didn't go on to do a whole lot more. You would think that somebody would be knocking down his door. Like I was just not interested in the lack of fanfare, not just for this movie, but for the actors moving forward. Maybe they had
Yeah.
a gear shift in careers, but I was
Yeah.
looking to see, what else he had done, or just the full cast here, characters like I can't think of his name, but the actor who betrayed Blunted, because he had a role
Blunted
here,
is
but
Jonathan Brewer.
yeah, it wasn't as significant. So I was like, I would love to see,
What a great role.
what else, what else he did. Like if he did this with kind of, so little, I would
Yeah.
love to see him execute something further, or, it was, everything was just kind of coming up short. And I thought that I was going to go on this wild ride of discovering these actors that that were kind of low key unknowns coming into this movie. Like it was, nobody knocked down their door.
Well, and this is another thing too. I think this movie is getting a lot of respect now. It's getting a resurgence now, guys, because you talk about accuracy in regards to showing the different levels of Mayan civilization. Its depiction of opulence, of greed, of slavery within. I mean,
Pride. Oh my God, so much pride.
yeah, but also too, every actor is indigenous,
Is
right?
indigenous. Every single one of them.
Every single one of them, whether they're Mayan or Mexican, Creek or Canadian indigenous.
Every
That
single
entire cast was just so talented.
I was amazed because with the time, that was the first thing I went to look at. I was like, okay, 2006, let me go see who was, whitewashed and who did they decide to paint? No, everybody here, everything was just so accurate. The inconsistencies as far as the historical events here, with a lot of movies that I've seen who, done worse, it didn't distract me or take away from the movie for me. I knew some things here were inaccurate just watching it, but I was still really invested in what was happening.
Well, listen, no, Braveheart was inaccurate. A lot of these films, that are inspired by true stories are inaccurate. In historians, and then the hardcore Chicanos, that are really into like, oh, you got to get it right. I say, they're always going to complain no matter what. But at the end of the day, this is about that gentleman's character, right? Jaguar Paw and his journey from being what you could say is a naive country boy, because they were really out in the sticks.
Yeah, secluded, isolated.
And then his whole world is destroyed, completely destroyed. But he did save his wife and his kids, so he's got to get back to them. Sure will. And he does pray to the gods. He gets back. I mean, this performance, it's everyone is so present with their performances. Nothing put on. There's nothing, and there's just so many great characters to talk about. The mother here.
Yeah, I wanted to pause on her because of what you said in the beginning about just women in their placement in movies now. I think they are placing them as if, it's our time now. But here, even though this is the Jaguar Paw show, they still managed to elevate her and show her in a sense of being just as strong as he is, because she has the will to wait, and she's in there with the son. I think at some point a
son was
monkey,
so cute.
he was adorable with his little butt out. It was so adorable. It was so adorable.
The little haircut.
Like continuing to just persevere, especially when we get to the climax and that well is filling up. It was so good. She was so strong.
So thank you. Two things I want to say about this character, right? And Cameron Pasha, who is a producer, writer in Hollywood, he's in the chat throwing down knowledge. Thank you, Cameron. Chris Gore had the industry on advanced Apocalypto because I mean it's kind of true what he's saying. Some of these actors you haven't heard from. There is an actor you have. We'll get to him in a minute. But the thing with the wife Seven and her journey, her struggle is a woman's struggle.
Yeah.
There's no way that a man. I'm not here to offend anyone, but a man cannot give birth while holding up their kid from drowning and give birth submerged almost completely submerged underwater at the same time. Me and my girlfriend, me and Romy were watching this, and we were like, I go, that is the pillar of our civilization, is a woman holding her child up while giving birth. And the man is literally fighting off, everyone he's trying to fight off just to protect them. I mean, it blew me away, that scene, that birth. I was just like, how amazing was that? and struggles. It wasn't about change. And this is where Chris Gore says so eloquently, you don't change the name of the character from Joe to Maria, and well, now you're a strong woman.
Yeah.
No. And this is a great example. And you're right. It's about Jaguar Paw, but Mel Gibson gave the Mayan woman mad love in this.
They were beautiful. There was some fine women. Let me not leave that out. These were some gorgeous women. Like everything was just immaculate. I really, outside of the historical inaccuracies, I'm not going to hold Mel Gibson's personal choices against this movie. I have no problems with anything else here. It didn't come up short for me in any way. And just getting into the fact, because I know how good a movie is if I don't need those subtitles. So I was like, let me watch it without the subtitles. And if I feel like I need them, I'll go find one with it. Great movie, easy to follow, enhance the experience. I was like, oh, this is really good, to the point, simplistic, but still highly elevated storyline that I don't need those subtitles and I can just follow just through the visuals and the acting that is happening. It's like nonstop go as soon as the movie starts.
Yeah. By the way, guys, the movie is not in Spanish. It's not in English. It's in pure Yucatán Mayan, and
awesome.
And I just want to drop some knowledge is that everyone here, white, black, Latino, I don't care who you are, everyone knows words from Nawat, whether they're Mayan or whether they're Aztec. You guys speak it almost every day. If you say the word chocolate, if you say the word avocado, if you say the word guacamole or chile or coyote, those are all indigenous words from this place and time. Aguacat.
And that is why Polly is here.
Yeah. I'm just trying to connect us all. That there's beautiful connections from the tomato to the chile to the avocado. That's all. Those are all exports from these people from this place and time. And we gotta keep on connecting to each other. That's we'll color.
If anyone else directed it, it would have won all the awards. Absolutely. This is the ultimate unsung movie. I would love to know who's your favorite character in the movie.
I mean, Jaguar Paw. Every time I watch it, I'm seeing another layer from him. Yeah, I mean, I love him. He does. It's a great performance. It's great to keep revisiting these movies, like the way I revisited recently Return of the Jedi from 1983. To watch Mark Hamill's performance, I'm like, God, did I miss how good he was? I did. That's how I felt about Rudy Youngblood's performance here. Yeah. I mean, there's so many great characters.
Because you know who mine is. It is. I love Jaguar Paw, but I love a good villain. Middle Eye had me at hello.
Ugh.
He's terrible, but I
Ugh.
loved watching Middle Eye.
Middle
He
Eye.
was so disturbed and just so disgusting. I love seeing a sadistic Joker and Mayan 1500 civilization. He was giving me all of the villain that I needed, and I love watching every second of his craziness on screen. Like I love to hate him. I loved it.
Well, he was a great villain because
Yes. And then we had multiple villains. It was great.
Mhm. Well, here's the head dude, and this actor here, Raoul Trujillo,
Mhm.
who plays what's his name?
Zero Wolf.
Zero Wolf.
Yeah.
He's the leader of this pack, and then he realized, why he does what he does later on in the storyline. But this actor has been working consistently. He was in Mayans, and he's gonna be the lead villain in Blue Beetle coming up. But it's funny because we're rewatching it, and we're like, Romy says, he looks like your dad. I'm like, yeah, he does.
Let's see. Steven Spielberg tried to imitate Apocalypto and Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull and failed miserably. I can see that. Let's see. I agree with struggles. Yeah.
Hey, Val.
Thank you. Hey, Val. Welcome here.
Look how beautiful Val is.
Yes. Look, right. I love when you click and you can get a real good visual of the face.
Yeah, we always need that. Yeah. Yeah.
If you guys just arrived, please remember to hit that like button and get some more people in here. And of course, if you just got here and you are just meeting this lovely man and you want to see, hear, or know more, please go and subscribe and check out his channel. I would love if you guys could do that. Like, it was just so many people to root for here, because even though I love Jaguar Paw, I love something just as understated as Blunted, and him kind of coming off as that. I didn't expect any comedy here. Let me get into that. I didn't expect an ounce of comedy here. It was really great how they wove that in here with his character, and him being broken and not being able to impregnate his wife, but just him kind of coming off as low-key that village idiot, and he's kind of laughed at. I knew with his his stature and his passion and his love that he had for her, he was going to come through when we needed him to. So I had fun going on the journey with him, as well as getting to know Zero Wolf and his motivations, and someone like Middle Eye, just discovering why would you want to do this and take so much glee in it. He was so happy to do the sickest things, and it's just really great. And not even this, I felt like this movie was really universal, because you can take this and take so many other civilizations and place them in this exact same scenario and get the same outcome, and it's just like history repeating itself. I thought this was really beautiful.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't, like Fletcher says, and anyone will say, they can't have great heroes without great villains.
Yeah.
And Blunted, Jaguar Paw, right away Mel Gibson puts the focus on these hunters.
Yeah.
Right. And then it shows that they're very capable. They just took down a wild boar. But then there's that humor part.
Yes.
Right. And then you also get the kind of like the communal connection that this village has with each other. It's really beautiful.
They love each other so much. I love that their needs were just so simple. Like, I think I said in my video, we are here to hunt, provide, procreate, and leave our imprint on this forest. And that's the peak of survival for them. As long as we have this, what we've cultivated in each other, we don't need or want for anything else. And I love the fact when we meet the other village of people who have been clearly ravaged, and they have that brief exchange of fish and the boar. And I love, it was just so simple, but it said like, this is not only giving you safe passage, but we can share. There is enough here to, go around. Unlike, when we get here and there's no trees anywhere and it's limestone and dust and death and famine. And it was terrible.
Yeah. It was, they were going into the different levels of hell. That's what that was. But going back to Blunted, he was made so he was made fun of by the hunters, then by the village, then by and even by Jaguar Paw's dad,
Yes.
who was a wonderful character, Flint's
So did he
guy.
rub chilies down there? I'm really curious. Was it chilies being rubbed down there? Because her mouth was hot.
Oh yeah. So you got that he was like this, like kind of like oh shucks, golly, idiot. But when they're attacked,
Yes.
he's killing fools left and right. It took like 3 or 4 of the guys to bring him down, and you're like, wow.
Just
Wow,
that
I love Blunted.
passion, that gurring when they touched his
Mhm.
wife. I was like, I was hurting
Yeah.
for him. It was really impactful.
Well, when they got enslaved, right?
Mhm.
When they first got like kind of like up in this, and he was just saying like everything, we've lost everything, shame, shame. I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
Shame, shame. I was like, oh, it is. You should be
you know,
ashamed of yourselves.
and so you were like you were hooked. I was hooked. You're hooked, and you're hooked, and Rudy Jaguar Paw is who we're seeing the story through, even when he's running. But that's what makes the thing with Middle Eye is that he's a psychopath, man.
I see. I love the last moment between Blunted and his mother-in-law.
Yeah.
That broke me down. Oh, when she was considered useless and not able to be sold. That was so heartbreaking. I hated, I loved and I hated that scene all at the same time, because you kind of know that they're being low-key led to their, at first I thought they were just taken to be enslaved, and then I was like, oh, they're being sacrificed. I
They're
was
being sold or sacrificed.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was
Mhm.
not expecting that. But you see them, just watching them kind of go to their deaths. It's really sad, but you're really also busy looking at all of this amazing texture and all of this work and its art and
Mhm.
everything. I think in the little facts or just something with Mel Gibson that I saw, he was like, no, they were trying to get him to kind of CGI a couple thousands of people into the scene. He was like, no, I actually
No.
want, if it's 2,000 people here, I want 2,000 people here.
You just showed a
Damn.
homeboy's death. Ugh.
Dress, the makeup, the like
Mhm.
this is what I need. I need real. This is like, I want, an actual, Mayan temple. I want these things actually built. I don't want any, there was so much time and effort invested into this movie and the scenes, the graphics, the structures. And I'm just like, it was $40 million. People
Yeah.
get, 3 and 4 and 5 times that now, and we just don't get anything of this caliber. And it's really
No.
disappointing.
Yeah, there's so much to take away from this, what we see on the screen, and then where it was filmed and at the time. Also, too, that Gibson said this is not about being historical accurate. This is the background, right? We're
Yeah, this
talking
is a
about.
chase movie, ultimately.
Oh, well, I mean, it becomes one, right?
Yeah.
It becomes one because first, I think it's that first act is the first act for me was the kind of like the loss of innocence and beauty of the way of life, forever just lost. That second one was the descent into hell, and then the just you really get a sense of just how fatalistic and these religious cults took over the Mayan civilization because of these kingdoms. Because you got to remember, Mayans were highly intelligent,
Yes.
builders and astronomers and all that stuff.
I think
They
that's why this movie got, I
Yep.
think if the historical inaccuracies, if they would have displayed some of those scientific, mathematical things, all of those great things that we still use now, and just show how educated and brilliant and smart and all those things that they contributed to society, then maybe it wouldn't have got as much backlash. And maybe we would hear about it a little more. But here, especially when we get into the end, the boat and stuff rolling up. And I said in my review that it was kind of depicted as all of this savagery was going on. And then we have, them roll up like, oh, we're kind of doing you a favor. We're saving you from yourselves. You're killing each other anyway. So I think that was kind of a part of that backlash also. But that did not deter me from the film, because I was absolutely shocked watching this for the first time, because you don't know what's going on. I was like, what? Why are they stopping? What's happening? It's like, oh, I didn't expect that. I thought it was great.
Yeah, and then like you said, like that last act becomes the chase. You
Oh,
know, Jaguar Paw becomes Indigenous Rambo.
it did.
He did. This is my forest. My daddy
Mhm.
was here before you. My kids are gonna be here after me. Come
Yeah.
on, let's play.
It
Let's go.
was
And
great,
that was
Polly. It was
what's that?
great. I said it was
It was
great. Like I didn't have those. I haven't had those feelings for a film like screaming and just
mm-hmm.
jumping and just hooraying. I
Mm-hmm.
said Neo in the Matrix is the last time I was just so
Mm.
excited for somebody. You know when that character figures out who they
Right.
are and they persevere and
Right.
it's just amazing to see them go against the odds and win or
Yep.
even getting into Mad Max and that chase, and it's just that
Oh yeah.
ultimate chase, and just hoping that this person gets to where they need to be, and they just found a way with every like 15 minutes to heighten the tension in the movies because when it
Yeah.
started raining, I was like, oh my god, hurry up.
Yep. Hurry up. Hurry up. Both times you had to hurry up to get her down and hurry up to get her out.
Oh man, that scene, everything was just so good. Him being,
Yeah.
that heightened intensity of knowing and being aware something is going on, and getting that jump to get his wife, and just that honor that we see him display that they try to knock out of him right away and name him almost. Just that hey, I would love to hide in this well and be with you, but I have to go back. I have to fight. I have to try to help my father, our people. I'm gonna come back for you. And ultimately, watching this for the first time, I was not sure if he was going to make it back to them.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh.
Well, yeah. So let's talk about that final scene, right? That final
Mhm.
image, because when he almost kills everyone off, right? But then
Mhm.
there's the two guys, and they're on the beach and they
Yeah.
stop. It's like because you don't know what they're looking at yet,
Yeah.
and then you turn the camera and then you realize it's the Spanish.
English.
It's right. It's the
Mhm.
conquistadors. Um, so many directors said that's their favorite shot.
Mhm.
Like it just sends chills down your spine, and that's what cinematic storytelling is supposed to do. Now, here's the other thing, Struggles, is that they said, Mel and was it what was the excuse me, let me get the gentleman's the co-writer name because the co-writer deserves props as
Yes.
well. And
Yes, he does.
Farhad, um, 'cause the point I wanted to make was that him and the other writer made it a point to say it's not about we're not being historical accurate, but we are saying at this time all the influences, right?
Mhm.
Were descending upon these civilizations, and they were all in a sense, eating each other up, sacrificing each other up. Um, Farhad Safinia. Farhad Safini was the co-writer.
Mm.
And what is what's interesting, and the reason why I bring this up, the last 20 years, there has been more discoveries, I can't say the word, discoveries
Mhm.
that Mayan, Toltec, and Aztec were actually visiting each other more than we thought,
Mm.
and that they were actually more brutal
Mm.
than we thought. There has been a discovery of this this stairs or castle of skulls
Mm.
stacked up on top of each other in Aztec.
Yeah.
There's been that same thing now in a Mayan temple. So it happened, guys. As far as those groups became
Look
so
at this comment, Polly.
I always call her Struggles.
Yeah.
my Struggles. I guess the point I'm making is that yeah, they were acting more like Aztecs in this
Mhm.
film, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, that was their great demise, along with famine and in-house fighting and lack of resources.
Resources. Child, it was dry.
Man. So yeah, Yeah.
It was so dry. I think that's probably what got the most backlash was not just that ending, or just what they felt like that ending represented for the Mayan people, but when they were getting into that sacrifice scene and how brutal it was, and that Aztec kind of being thrown in there, and it's just like, oh, this isn't right, it's wrong. This didn't happen. It was I didn't like if that's coming into fruition now that you know what, no, they were brutal. It was because that's what I saw the most, that the depictions of, you know, the taking the heart out and like, oh, it wasn't, or chopping the head off and rolling them, like, no, it wasn't that bad. But Paulie said it was.
Well, yes, it was.
Yeah.
We and based on the kingdoms and based on the times, they were more brutal or less brutal to each other. Right? But at this time, everyone was going downhill because now you said like, oh, I want to see part 2. Here's part 2.
Yeah.
The Spanish come, they figure out that the leading, whoever is in charge, is hated by all these other tribes because of what we just saw.
Which I love, because you see that in the crowd. They're being revered. And as soon as, you know, they pass, you see this disdain and this hatred on their face.
So what the Spanish figured out was, let's get some alliances with all these other kingdoms that hate the king or hate who's in charge.
Yeah.
Plus we got gunpowder. Plus we got smallpox.
Yeah.
We win.
That kind of confused me too with that scene, because didn't a little girl who did the prophecies, didn't she have smallpox in her face?
She had a pestilence of some sort. Whether that was there already, you got to remember too. Yeah, because that wasn't really clear. But historically, different Spaniards with different priests ended up in different areas of the Yucatán and south before they went to Mexico. So maybe that it wasn't established. Maybe that was caught earlier, like, you know, maybe a few years before someone had come and shared some smallpox.
Well, what is your favorite scene in the movie?
Oh God.
So many.
Wow. That's a great answer. That's a great question. And that's a good point. Really fast is that Dalia Aborigen, long live indigenous people. That these guys, we didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, nowhere.
A lot of us got killed off, or it was pretty brutal. But the Indian spirit, the indigenous spirit, lived on, and the people are there. Mayan, Aztec. I mean, I believe, Fletcher, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know how many. Just Nawat alone is spoken by 2 million people in Mexico. There's more people that speak indigenous languages than anything in Mexico still. Anyways, a favorite scene. Wow.
It's a nice shot.
Yeah. Boy's looking good. No CGI there.
None. And it was none anywhere. I think the one place that I found, I'm gonna pause here because this is gonna relate to my favorite scene. I think the one place that there was CGI was a little bit was added to him jumping into the waterfall to kind of enhance it. But outside of that, I couldn't find any presence of CGI anywhere else in the movie. Are you muted, Polly?
Sorry. Have you seen the movie RRR?
Yeah.
So remember that opening where they catch the tiger?
Yes.
Rajamouli said that was
inspiration,
the beginning of Apocalypto.
Okay.
You know, Mel Gibson is one of his favorite directors.
I could see that. I need Mel to come out and direct a few more films. I think he's had a resurgence at this point to where, you know, it's safe to come back out if he'd like to, because he's clearly talented.
So what is your favorite scene?
It's this one right here, Polly. When at first I love the scene prior of them being sacrificed, because everybody was falling like flies. I knew they were going to be sacrificed, but it was so hard to watch because you grow with them. So he invested you in these characters so quickly. I didn't want anyone to die. By the time we have I can't even think of his name or who he was, but the gentleman who was kind of the link in the chain, and Middle Eye kind of kills him off because he's dragging him down, and you have Blunted, standing firm, trying to make sure they don't fall off the cliff, and just such teamwork, even though they are just in complete despair. It was between this and the scene that I thought was the most moving for me, when we have the small child collect the other small children. And she's like, they're my children now. I'm going to take care of them. I was like, what? Oh my gosh, this is terrible. But here, I don't know why I love this scene so much, but I just had kind of a ray of hope. I don't know why I had some hope, but once that eclipse happens and he's already kind of voiced and stepped into who he is, and he has that kind of telepathic moment with his wife in the well, and it's like I remember who I am and my purpose. It's okay, like I'm not gonna die here. But once they take him, like, all right, yeah, it was Tuesday. We committed all kind of sacrifices. But yeah, just, basically take them out back and get rid of them and use them as target practice. I was like, what? What? I kept waiting for a moment for them to get away collectively. I'm like, okay, so we still got Blunted. We still have this person. Maybe they'll strategize.
Still have the core.
Yeah. I'm like, no, everybody's about to die.
Yep.
But here, when we have they just had so much passion to take, they wanted to take him down so badly, and he was just so strategic. Once he starts to zigzag and he's running, because I knew that it was false hope to give them, if you make it to the cornfield or pass, we'll just let you go, you'll be free. I was like, they're not letting anybody go, because it would go against everything that they feel like they stand for. So the tension was high for me to figure out how he was going to get away. And when Blunted came through and held him down, I cheered so loud. So I love this scene.
You know what? I was thinking that target practice scene, right, where they had to escape, that is one of my favorite scenes as well, because there's up until that point there's so much loss and misery on this trail. It's just like, oh my God, kill me now. Even though you're just kind of mesmerized, but it's disturbing.
Yeah.
Once you zigzag,
once you zigzag, it's over. It's just like, I just love every single moment. He didn't allow them to deter him. Like, I'm just not. I'm smarter than your average bear, and they knew it, which is why somebody like Middle Eye wanted to kind of dehumanize him and take what he had away, killing his father in front of him. Like, I was so upset when he said, "Father, I'm sorry." I was like, "Don't say that. He's your dad." Like, I was yelling.
But see, that's the thing, is that he doesn't know. He had to learn on the job about just how awful people can be, and how he's a hunter, but he was pretty sheltered. And I think that's what you saw. That's why I love that character so much. So I think the target practice scene is important, because
he's gonna prevail.
He does prevail. He escapes, even though Blunted doesn't. It's an incredible death. It's so thrilling. And we're off to the chase part. Like, it becomes a different movie at that point.
Totally different.
Until the end. I loved I loved the beginning, as far as anything that had to do with the village and the harmony and the love and the humor. The fight choreography, guys, was on point. It was just vicious. There's just so much to love. I was in awe of the filmmaking of showing the Mayan town, the Mayan, temples and all the stuff. Really incredible.
He built everything. Literally everything. I love this moment where we kind of have
this guy's great.
Which one?
This guy's great, because what happens is that because they're like a fatalistic people, they were getting omens left and right, and it's like, yo, when they killed the jaguar, the guy was like,
Oh, I knew that was over.
we gotta get the fuck out of. Sorry, we gotta get the F out of here because we just killed. Basically, we killed a god. We get jaguars are
such a sacred animal.
Yeah, it's one of our. Well, it's a god. It's a jaguar god, and you know it's interesting too because how they prayed to Kukulkan, which was the Marvel stole that and made Namor Kukulkan. I'm like, come on, give me a fucking break.
That upset y'all, piss Paulie off.
I hated that, man. But yeah, when he called it, I think he was kind of like the medicine man of these guys. He was like the more like in sync with prophecy and that. He's like, we gotta get out of here.
Of what that little girl said, it stuck with him.
Yeah, exactly. That little girl was. Oof.
I just love that you already know that they stand for nothing. This is a selfish group of people. They only, it's that pride before the fall. So every single moment that we have almost figure out who he is, it's another moment that you see who they are decrease. And when we have someone like Middle Eye, I love that even though we got like falling soldiers, these are men that you run with. He's like, yeah, give me that knife or whatever off of him. He would have wanted me to have it. Like they are not
such a piece of crap.
And even here, this moment on this waterfall, it's like, oh, if he can jump off, this waterfall, I'm like, no, we can't. It's just like, no, I don't want to plunge to my death. And I really feel like we should walk away. But, that pride and him feeling like, oh, this is a double cross towards me. I have an agenda to take him out. And he immediately, I think he stabs this one over here to the right just because he didn't want to plunge to his death or listen to what he had to say. Just didn't care at all about each other in comparison to all the love and all that sacred stuff that we saw in the beginning of the film with this hunter-gatherer family. It was just such a great contrast. Or even that relationship and what he was trying to kind of build and instill in his son versus what someone like Flint Sky was trying to do with his son. It was great.
Yeah, the thing with Flint Sky is that the only thing he really cared about was his son, right?
Yes.
Hey, Brianka
Sade.
Hello,
Hey,
Brianka
sorry,
Sade.
I'm late. You are never late. As long as you come in here, of course, you can hit, that playback button and, run it back and still comment and all that good stuff. You are absolutely right on time, and I appreciate you for being here.
Remember what
Marvel
Gandalf says. Marvel sucks. Remember what Gandalf says. A wizard is never late.
Yeah, never late. Let's see, I'm saving up my money to pay for a Beast of the Southern Wild review. I have no clue what that is, so I'm intrigued.
That's incredible film too.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, you just know all the good stuff, don't you, Paul? That is great. You guys be sure to go and check out Latino Slant. The link is in the chat. Go. It's this and more. Didn't you hear all the science and all the good history and all the facts Paulie been dropping in this brief live? Go and check him out.
But Rob MM brings up a good point, right? But that's just Indigenous history makes me sad. We'll never know the whole true history before 1865 in the United States, kind of Mexico, but USA is erased.
Central America, but USA is erased.
But Rob, I remember when I was in high school, and our theater teacher put up the word archive. He spelled it out on that first line, archive. Then on the second line, he would, of archive, A, maybe R, maybe E. Third line, A and E. Last line, maybe was one word, one letter from archive. And he says, what is this? He asked us. It was like, so it's, and then he says, that's human history. The further you go back, the less you know. And that's kind of just how it is sometimes. For whatever reasons, whoever,
Val said, hit that like button, y'all. This review is outstanding. Thank you so much, Val. And please hit that like button. It helps us out. Oh, I see. It says, favorite scene, the mother brings life underwater. The rose, that was a beautiful scene.
That's a great scene.
Oh my God.
It is incredible because in fact we've shared very little time with it, but each scene was so meaningful. You're absolutely right. And that kind of hit me strong too. I mean, you got everything in this film.
Yeah. I just loved it because look at that. I just loved it because, it says especially the love of a mother like knows no bounds. So when that
Mhm.
superhumanness of a mother kicks in, it's something incredible. And you
That's
really
it.
saw that with her to persevere, and just the son, he was adorable. Like, I have to be strong, and going into labor, it was just so intense. I was really hoping that he got there in time. If he would have gotten there and this would have been a
Mhm.
different movie, I was going to be so distraught.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That would have been because he's already lost enough.
Yes.
You could say also too that even though his immediate family is alive,
Yeah.
they lost.
Yeah.
And then his only answer, his only way to figure something out is like, we just got to get away from these people.
No, even when we get here and we get into that ending scene, how do you feel about not this? And we love that scene. Let me take that back because everybody loves that.
Mhm.
Let me run that back. Everybody loves, when the villains get their comeuppance. It's
Yep.
really great, using that nature and everything against them. I love how he used the same trap that he used for the boar to
Oh, it's so dope.
take out Zero Wolf. But when we get to that ending scene
Mhm.
that people find so problematic for whatever reason, I love this was nice, but I love when she is kind of in awe and it's like, should we, go to them? And he says, no, we belong in the forest. Let's go back to where we belong. Like this is, this is the best thing to do instead of going and, to discover the unknown. I love this scene.
Yeah, I don't know why people have such a hard time with this. Maybe it's because they can't reconcile the fact that is what happened.
Mhm.
Some some of the indigenous were in awe, some weren't.
Yeah.
Some aligned, some didn't, and eventually it was a quick downfall.
Yeah.
But the quick downfall of the empire only happened because it was already in dissension.
Mhm.
The Spanish just took advantage of, they were gold hungry.
Yeah.
They were on a different type of greed.
That great storytelling scene with the elders, like, someone's gonna come, with the hunger that's never satisfied. There was so many great moments here.
Damn, I forgot about that. I just
It was
knew.
it was so much, kind of prophesizing what was to come and telling him to, remember what we have here now, those skills, tap back
Hmm.
into that to save his family later. Oh, it was just awesome. It was so good. It's so much to take away. I feel like with this being a first time
Hmm.
watch for me, this is a movie that when you go back, you're going to see something new every single time.
Well, I mean, and it's again, it's a great ending.
Mhm.
It's not a Hollywood ending.
Mhm.
It's a bit ominous, but this story of Jaguar Paw and his family ended. I mean, they're gonna go away.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I mean, I think it was a perfect ending.
Yeah. Well, last question. With it being a perfect ending, would you be up for a part two?
I mean, I would be up for okay, part two of Jaguar Paw.
Yes. Just kind of see how he dealt with everything, as well as, those Spaniards getting there and kind of what we know what happened, but it doesn't, deter me from wanting to actually see it. No
I'm
part
like on the
two.
fence. I'm on the fence because if anything, like a part, I don't know. First of all, it would have to be the same creators,
Same
Mel and
creator, same director, everybody.
Farhad, to come up with why are we seeing Jaguar Paw's story? What would be like his
Hmm.
kid?
Yeah.
20 years later, 25 years later,
Hmm.
maybe his kid becomes of something of an importance, and
Hmm.
there's a connection to the Aztecs, Um, maybe, or how maybe that indigenous group got maybe with some other ones that just went deep into the forest, never to be seen again.
I just would love to see that because there were so many people left behind. And I would just like to see them kind of pick up and see where they went after that. So many children, left behind without mothers and dads, like just to see how they would kind of recover and grow from losing everything. I would honestly be intrigued, but I would also be scared. I wouldn't want whatever part 2 to tarnish or mess up the perfection that this film is. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. But if Mel Gibson decided to pop out and say, which is scary because when like long time directors come out so many years later, like, oh, we're gonna execute a part, it never gives us what we want. And it's like, oh, I thought they were gonna do this or go this direction. It would be interesting to see what he would do with it, but I just need some more of this. Can we get some more of this? I just need some more, even with the statements that you made. Yeah, even the statements that you made about, of course, the historical inaccuracies and the things that I talked about. No one has tried to, not even that, but just wanting to depict maybe the Mayan people and just Aztec culture or just things in general in a particular light. Nobody so far has tried to come out and execute or do anything else of this caliber. It's like we're complaining, but I haven't seen anybody do anything.
I actually would like to go back in time, right? Because if someone says that there's other stories, and they're absolutely right in regards to Mayan and Aztec, amazing stories. In the 900s, there was a queen named Xochitl who was very beloved, and for a time ruled. She had a female guard, and these guys, they all actually went to battle, and they all perished. But it was an amazing story as far as, and there's a couple of those female queens that had to take over for a time. It's very rare, but they're there. That would be interesting. But the story that I would love to see happens about 100 years before this, like in the 1400s, early 1400s, and it's about a prince named Neshakoyot, and he became king, but he had to live on the run because they were trying to kill him at first. His relatives, you know how that goes, as far as royalty. They were trying to kill him off for his early part. So so there's great struggle there. He becomes king, and under in his reign, the Aztec Empire flourishes. He even stops human sacrificing for a while. He's a builder. He's an architect, and this is what's really cool. He's a straight up poet. So I would love to see his story because he was almost killed off as a child. And there's no foreshadowing there. And you got to understand the Aztec Empire really was a blip. They burned bright for about 250 years, and then they were gone.
Yeah.
So
it's so many other things that happened prior to that we can give a visual and a storyline to that nobody else has done yet. Paulie, that's why you got to go support Paulie, because he could make that happen if he gets enough subs.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you. And Mr. D-Man 21 just making new stories. There's so many stories.
Anything but Cleopatra. Like, yeah, they keep, oh gosh, they run that one into the ground.
Well, anything but that Cleopatra. Right?
Yeah. There's different renditions, but we get the one particular Cleopatra.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, going back to this time and place in history, there's just so many incredible stories way before the Spaniards arrive.
Yeah.
So yeah, but this Apocalypto is going to really stand the test of time. A lot of these movies can't say the same.
Absolutely not. I can remember the last time, I think in the past 5 years, I've seen a movie this good.
Yep.
I can't. And and just to tie it in, like I said, the same time, the only time I can remember recently that I had the passion for a movie that I have for this one is the Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah.
That was like the last time that I was in my seat, and oh my goodness. And of course I love the fact that that's still, attached to Mel Gibson in a way. So
Mhm.
it's Mel Gibson, come outside. We need a little assistance.
Oh, there's Blunted. I mean, I think that's a great question for the chat. I mean,
Mhm.
what is the great, give us your top, couple of action films in
Yeah.
the last 30 years. What are your favorite action films?
Hmm. I
I
think because
put
this is so heightened, nobody thinks of this as like, is this
Mhm.
an action film? Is this a historical drama? Like, no, this is some action.
It's an action drama.
Yeah.
It's a thrill. Yeah, it's a thrill ride. I put this movie up against any of those, like Gladiator,
Hmm.
maybe Two Towers, Lord of the Rings, this one. Um, give me your action films. Maybe uh, Captain America: Civil War.
Hmm.
That
Okay.
was really good. That was the entrance of Black Panther. That was
Hmm.
a fantastic action film.
Oh, we ain't never getting that again. Not for Marvel.
Not from Marvel. Not from
Let's
Marvel.
see. Y'all got to see Concrete Cowboy and The Harder They Fall, Hateful Eight, and 300. I've seen all of those.
Those are great examples,
Yes.
Bianca. Um,
I wasn't the
fantastic.
biggest fan. The Harder They Fall. I had a couple of issues with it, but
Mhm,
it was a great movie. Concrete
mhm.
Cowboy, pretty good. 300 is my movie. I will watch that any day of the week. I love me some 300 with the passion, and Hateful Eight was awesome.
Hateful Eight, I don't see it as an action film though,
Oh no, not action.
but
No.
it is I'm one of those guys that really like that film. No, a lot of Tarantino people didn't. Um, yeah, but that's
Demolition
before
Man.
the Demolition. I think was early to mid '90s. I'm
Mhm.
talking like we could let's say like this century alone. Demolition
Oh
Man was all right.
yeah. Three seashells. Yeah. Let's see. The raid in the Ombak.
Yeah,
Ombak.
yeah, he's getting more martial arts action.
Mhm.
Um, that's a different category, Fletcher. The have you seen the raid?
Yes.
Yeah,
The raid was
yeah,
fantastic.
yeah.
The
Greatest
raid.
action, greatest martial arts film for sure.
Mhm.
Onbak. Have you seen Onbak?
No.
Oh
Let me write it down. Let me
man,
write it down.
Tony Jaa, man. Let me tell you, Tony Jaa kind of like blew the doors off of martial arts films when this came out. About was it like I think it's around the same time, 2006, 2007,
Mhm.
and they really promoted and marketed Tony Jaa as the next big thing because he did everything himself.
Ah, a Korean film, The Man from Nowhere. I reviewed that. Go check it
Hmm,
out.
there you go.
I reviewed The Man from Nowhere, of course, because somebody paid for it and it was
Mm-hmm.
awesome. Go and check it out.
Val said, I like the Predator franchise. Don't judge me.
It's okay. I absolutely thought of the Predator, the most recent. I think it was the Prey
Pray,
movie, when
yeah,
you have all those indigenous people there and they're speaking modern English. I get so annoyed with that, and those are the type of inaccuracies that bother me.
that's
So I
another
love,
thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
I love the fact that we had them here speaking the actual language of the time. I thought it
and
was
didn't
great
speak English.
at
No,
all. They didn't dumb the movie
no.
down
It just
for us.
takes you out, especially when
Yeah.
you're trying to be like you're trying to capture, this period. Um, which again, why was Namor speaking English? Okay, let's go on. Sorry.
Namor. Roll those R's on the Latino slang.
Yeah, re-roll them hard.
Oh man. Well, Polly, this has been absolutely awesome. Let's see, not an action film, but I love 3,000 Years of Longing.
Okay,
I don't think I've seen that one.
no, that kind of came and went.
Hmm.
But see, we gotta talk about films that capture everyone's imagination, right? Great action films like Gladiator,
Mhm.
300, the Raid, and what I'm saying, Desi, is I put Apocalypto up there with any of them. Top for me, almost top three. I mean,
Because
but
my
anyways,
favorite action film is Terminator 2, and I'd put this up there with it.
oh wow, that's
Yeah.
almost not fair. Yeah,
I put it up there. This
Yeah.
one and any of the I love the Mad Max franchise. So any of those, Terminator 2,
The
this
Road
one,
Warrior.
yeah.
Ugh. I
Yeah.
saw that. I saw that in the theater as a kid.
Mm. Let's see, The Harder They Fall, the Jamaican film. I am impressed. No, not the
No,
Jamaican
no,
film.
no. This totally
The
different.
one with Jonathan Majors, the recent one on Netflix, and Idris
Idris and Regina.
Regina King.
Yeah, Harder They Fall. The Jamaican was Jimmy Cliff.
Mm.
The
Let's see.
Harder They Fall.
An underrated movie was a French film, Brotherhood of the Wolf, original title. I'm not reading that.
Le Pacte de
Le
Loops.
Pateloops.
I mean, come on, Fletcher. Get out of here with that.
The
Get out of
Pateloops.
here.
Let's
I'm
see.
sure it is.
I
Sure.
agree with you. I'm an old school Alien girl. Oh yeah, we love
Yeah,
some good
Alien.
Alien.
I mean, can we have
Strong female character without even trying.
Can we have her back, please?
Oh man, it's I'm like really losing faith
Mm-hmm.
in the movies of today, which is why I also lean more into the throwback content, because it gives me something to speak about passionately instead of just coming on and destroying a film and dissecting it and talking about what we hated about it. That gets really tiresome.
Well, thank you, because I almost felt bad to do my Indiana Jones review, because the first part was me breaking down the story, and it was the hardest thing for me to talk about, because I know where I'm going with this. It's like I'm gonna go my pros, and then I'm gonna go my cons, and then I'm gonna talk about the legacy.
Yeah.
You know, but it wasn't enjoyable. Like I didn't enjoy retelling the story.
Yeah.
I was bored out of my mind. You know, but one of the things that very nice. Yeah. If we
All of Quentin Tarantino's everything, pretty much.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things on the channel I love to do, is I actually love to bring out and talk about films that maybe you haven't seen, or TV shows, or something like that.
Yeah.
There's a great action drama called The Head of Joaquin Murrieta.
Oh.
And it's out right now on Amazon Prime. So if you got Prime, check it out. It is set in the 1850s, and it's a Western action drama that it shows how these different people, different backgrounds, are coming to form a gang of outlaws. And it's based on lore and legend. This is a real person that existed, Joaquin Murrieta. He was a bandit. But they take this television series, takes it to that kind of like Tarantino level. You know, it's pretty bloody. It's pretty rock and roll, and it is a fantastic.
Sounds like Reservoir Dogs or something.
Yeah, but think Western, right?
Yeah.
And 1850s.
Oh.
You know, so that's a TV show I highly recommend. The Head of Joaquin Murrieta.
I see a Bronx Tales here. I have not watched that in such a long time. First thing popped into my head, she could be one of the great ones. Like, I need to go watch that. I love this movie.
Beautiful film.
We just don't have one of the great. I see Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. We don't get these anymore. Like, I mean, for the most part, if you do watch a lot of, the foreign films,
which I do,
they are executing things.
They're doing Hollywood better than Hollywood right now.
Yeah, it's really great. So I can't even say that we are missing out completely, because if you go search for them, they're there. It just might not be something from here.
Or just stick to our channels, and we'll tell you what to go see as far as like great films that you might not see in the movie theaters. I'm lucky because I'm in LA, so I'll get to see them on the big screen, which I just saw. Really
stick to Paulie's channel. I have
Bollywood.
Major Pain coming up next. Major Pain isn't anything groundbreaking.
Hey, we all gotta laugh, man. Come on. I love stupid stuff, just like anyone else.
Yeah, it's going to be an eclectic time for the channel. That's coming up. The Mac is coming up. Serial Mom, that I've never seen, is I hadn't. Somebody bought Serial Mom, and from the clip that I've seen, I'm very curious to check that one out in total, because Wow. So
Well,
many
we reviewed Swarm together. That was a lot of
Yes.
fun.
Yes, it was. Are you discussing The Idol on your channel at all?
No,
Oh, I didn't think
no,
so.
no. It's really hard for me to keep up with a television show. You know,
Yeah.
Major Pain. I'm there. LOL.
Is good. Thank you. Thank you. Please be in the house for today.
You do that almost too well.
Oh man. But Polly, I am going to first of all, thank you so much for all of this. Like this has inspired me to do this on the regular with other films and have guests on, all because you said, hey, I want to be a part of that. And I was like,
Yep.
I could make this a thing. This could, be really beneficial and awesome for me because I've been trying to figure out how to have you on because my nerves are always wrecked. So this was awesome. This was the perfect opportunity, and I thank you so much for what you contributed about the film and what you had to say. But I am going to put your link in the chat once again, and I'm going to give you the screen so you can tell people about yourself, what you may have going on, and tell them to come and check you out.
Hey, thanks everyone. First of all, in the chat, it's a pleasure to meet any you new fine people. And yeah, my name's Polly. The channel is called The Latino Slant. Most of it's in English. Don't be confused. And I wanted to thank Struggle Reviews, saying to say struggles, even though she struggles, for having me on. We cover a lot of territory as far as subject matters, everything from pop culture to some political, anything that has to do with how it affects the Latino community here in the United States. I'll talk about it. And yeah, there you go. We covered everything from political polls to Sasha Calle's Supergirl. She's to lowriders. I love that video I just did on lowriders. To an Indian film. I mean, come on. I mean, I literally deliver a lot of different stuff on the channel, and I want to thank you again, Struggle Reviews, so much for having me on. She's just scrolling. Yeah, we had some fun. Yeah, got the reviews of Transformers, and and I'm lucky too because a lot of these big films right now are have a Latino component, so it's easier for me to even include it on our roster and stuff. Well, thank you, Desi C. I love that first name. Reminds me of Desi Arnaz.
I got distracted by those pictures of the Modelo beer. I love a good Corona or a Modelo.
Is that those your drinks?
Yeah, it looked good. As far as I don't drink any other beer, but if you give me a Modelo or a Corona, I'm your friend. A lime, I'm your friend.
Yeah, that video was how Modelo became the #1 beer that took over Bud Light because of the craziness.
D Movie Man in the house. Thank you so much for being here, D. It says, hey, you all, just got out of a screening for Joyride. Can't wait to check out the replay.
Well, how was it? I kind of might want to see that film. That's like the Asian female cast, right?
Let's see.
Yeah.
Have you seen the movie Short Eyes? Oh, okay. No, I have not. I don't want to. Polly said, I have not seen Short Eyes. Let's see. Hard. I think that's supposed to be.
Wait. Short Eyes. But it ever during its time. Movie to watch. I think I might be thinking of a different film. Let me look it up.
I was like, Polly said it wasn't good.
No. It's just not a happy story.
But no, I've never seen Short Eyes.
1977 film.
Let's see, Joyride. They made another Joyride. Let's see, shout out to Chris Gore.
Shout out.
Let's see, you have a new follower, Polly. Thank you.
Hey.
Thank you so much. That's what we come here for. Thank you so much. Well, to talk to you guys too, but that's what we come here for.
So
hard.
Yeah, Short Eyes is heavy, man. Short Eyes is very heavy. Yeah, and it's based on an award-winning play by Miguel Piñero in his late 70s. and he's in it along with Luis Guzman.
Mm.
But so you could watch that. But also, too, there is a movie about his life called Piñero that's played by Benjamin Bratt.
Mm.
So, you know, that you can check out.
Let's see. Polly said, D Movie Man
D
said,
Movie Man.
oh, it was hilarious. If you love Bridesmaids or Girls Trip, then you'll definitely love this film. So it's funny.
All right.
Some women. Let's see. Thank you both. The struggle is real. Yes, it is. Thank you so much, baby doll. Let's see. Mary J. Blige's recent project, Real Love, came out pretty good. I'm going to write that down.
What is that?
I don't know anything.
Is that her old song? That's an old song of hers, right?
It is an old song. So
Real love.
I'm searching for a real love. Sing it, Polly.
Yeah, I love to sing.
Let's see. I'll be checking you out soon. Latino Slant. Tyra already put me on a little while ago. Yeah, I'll be telling my friends to tell a friend and tell another friend all the time.
Órale, D Movie Man. Muchísimas gracias.
But you guys, before I get out of here, I will be going live tomorrow, 6:30 CST time, to discuss The Idol against my dismay. I will be discussing The Idol. Of course, I just dropped my video for Apocalypto. I just dropped a review for I Am Sam. And I also dropped a review for the indie film Lift. So much content to go and check out. You guys, please go and check that out. Thank you, Polly, for being here. Anything you want to say to the people before we get out of here?
People, go see Apocalypto.
Yes.
It's an incredible
I would love
film
for them to re-release this in theaters, but we can't.
Oh my! You know what? Hey, we need to talk because we need to get that. We need to get some kind of campaign for a revival. That is a great idea.
Absolutely.
Maybe a 20th anniversary.
That would be awesome. We close. We're really
close, man.
But Polly, thank you for being here. Of course, once again, if you have yet to subscribe to Polly's channel, go and do that. I look forward to doing this with you guys again with another film, and I look forward to having you on again, hopefully soon in the future, Polly. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
But you
Great
guys,
people in the chat.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Hit that like button, leave a comment, show some love. I see you guys next time for my next live. Goodbye.